Hey folks, I'm Dennis. Today I'm going to unbox and set up my new Pegas 21-inch scroll saw. Thanks for watching. Let's get started. In the box with all the packaging, it weighs like 82 pounds. So plan for if you buy one and have it delivered, or if you go pick it up, plan for that because it's pretty heavy. Comes double boxed, which is nice. Right in the top, it's got lifting instructions, tells you where to grab it to lift it. Don't lift it by the upper arm. Makes sense. Remove from carton, only lift using the front of the table and the motor. So after all the foam is out, that's how it looks in the box. The saw is bolted to a piece of plywood that's inside the outer box. It comes with an inner box that has no bottom. So just pull that out. Each corner protector's out of the way. Then instructed, just pick it up by the front of the table and the motor. Then you can set it on your bench. So I'm gonna get all this packing cleaned up and then we'll tackle the saw. I found one thing in the box that was off. It's looks like a little banjo bolt, so I'll figure out where that goes. The instructions, the manual, probably extra clamp parts, blade clamp parts are in the bag with that. I also got get into that when we set it up, but I also got a foot switch for it. I had one for my old Delta scroll saw, but I figured I'd get a new one while I was at it, getting a new saw. So this plastic cover is just over top of it. Another foam block, and that's probably the other side of that banjo bolt. There's a knob. So that's probably just come off. And that probably goes through the bolt. There's a blade on it. Get that in there and square that away later. So a pack of blades just kind of booger taped to the table. That'll come in handy. I've got a good assortment of blades that my dad gave me. He made a nice little holder for it with tubes, got them marked and everything, so that makes it nice for doing scroll saw work. Power cable and some feet. I'm going to vacuum up the stray little styrofoam things. I'll come back in just a minute. It's got a checklist on it where they shipped it. So my local places didn't have these available for pickup, so I had to have it shipped to the house. So, you know, if you do that, make sure that you inspect it real well, inspect the box and all that kind of stuff. My box came in fine, no problems. Clamping heads, check if the blade is centered through the side of the table, check if 4 nuts under the table are tight, check if the membrane B45 is well glued, check if parts A41, A46 are well adjusted in order to keep the upper arm in its position. So this is all for shipping stuff. Check that the detente plunger B25 can be well engaged. 1.6 as well. Check the squaring of the blade with table. So they've done a check on it before they packaged it, and then check the packaging as well. So that's good. Don't push or pull on this upper arm. You want to do all your movement by the table and the motor. So it's bolted to this piece of plywood. So I'm going to take these, we'll take these 4 bolts out and then get it free and put the feet on. I'm not going to bore you with taking that off the plywood, but once I start putting the feet in, I'll start recording. So in the packet, you've got the setup and operation manual. You've got spare parts for the head. It's kind of nice. And then you've got a scroll saw blade selection chart, which gives you all kind of information on different blade types, what to use when you're cutting what material, that kind of stuff. So that'll come in real handy. It's got in with the power cord. It's got feet, and they recommend bolting it to your table or using the leveling feet, but they recommend bolting it to your work surface. So I'm not 100% sure yet where I'm going to have this saw land in my shop. So for the time being, I'm going to put the feet on it, get it as level as I can. Then if I decide to leave it on this table, I'll bolt it down to this table, or if I build a stand for it or buy a stand for it, I'll bolt it to that. But for the time being, I'm going to put feet on it. While you're handling this, don't pick it up or push or pull on the upper arm. Do everything from the base or the table. So I'll put the other 2 in, and then we'll start getting it set up. Get it off this piece of plywood. Plywood's like 1/4 inch. It might be good for practicing, I don't know. So I'll level these feet up. 14mm nuts on the feet. Basically, I'm just setting them all to the same height until I see where we are. And I'll check the level on it. Not that it has to be level, but that's fine. So that's a little to the, leaning to the back, and that's the same. So at least it's the same, both sides. So that's all good. Take that off. That's just kind of lightly stuck to the table. Just letting you know that they gave you some blades with the saw. The setup on this, according to the manual, is pretty easy. You let the tension off your blade, undo that thumb screw, let the blade out, and then take the blade out of the bottom holder, which is just the same as the top. It's got a screw here. With all blade tension off and no blade in there, you want to check the parallel of the arm to the table. So on mine, that's 2 800,000ths on the back, and the same on the front. So that's good. If it's not the same, at least in this setup, this first setup page, it doesn't really say what to do about it if it's not right. I'm wondering if this knob back here, which is your gross tension adjustment, I wonder if that doesn't adjust this arm. It probably does. Put tension back on the blade. If necessary, adjust blade tension with knob B. So yeah, I think that's how you move this arm, is with this knob, but mine seems to be parallel at the table, so it's all good. So I'm not going to mess with it. So it says to lift the arm. Put your blade in the holder up here, or in the clamp. Tighten that up. lower your arm, thread it through the hole. I'm going to redo that because I had that funky. Alright, put in the bottom holder, tighten it up and then tension it. Tension the blade, should be good to go. And then if you can't get enough tension there, then you go back to this knob B and you adjust it back there. So in transit, my workpiece hold down came loose, and so that's what this knob is for. This little banjo bolt looking deal and the hold down. But there's a diagram on how everything goes together for all the different parts of the saw. There's multiple diagrams and part listings for each one, which is kind of nice. This just shows a washer. It doesn't say if it's a flat washer or a lock washer. It looks in the drawing to be a flat washer. So I found one of each in my little washer bucket. So I'm going to use a flat washer first and see how that works. So this thing goes in here. Let's see, I'm going to have to let the blade out. Lift this arm up a bit. Stick that in there with the hole vertical. This is a hex stamp out in this bracket, and this is a hex head. So put that in there like so. Stick that hole down in there like so. Push that back down to hold it in place like that. There we go. Just put a washer on it and then put that threaded knob on it. Makes sense, it'd be a flat washer to me, so that should do it. Set that off to the side, then I can put the blade back in, tension that. There we go, good to go. Alright, so that's that part, got that together. Everything else seems to be together. If in transit yours does, have something loose or whatever, these back pages come in pretty handy. It's got all your parts list for each diagram. Got a diagram for each. That's the table and the base and the trunnion, all that kind of stuff. So that'll come in pretty handy. The rest of it is kind of basic stuff, so I'm not really going to bore you with all of that. It talks about adjusting the blade speed and how to turn it on. There's a rocker switch, literally off and on. So your speed adjustment is right here. That's your dust blower. It does talk about maintaining and servicing your blade clamps, that it shouldn't deform your blade, it should keep it flat, so you want to check that. It's got a dust collector outlet right up here in the front, over here on this side, and a lot of holes here for picking up dust. Don't know how well that works, we'll find out later. Blade tension lever replacement, upper arm adjustment. Okay, so here's how you adjust the upper arm if it's out of whack. How to modify the oscillating motion of the blade. Squaring the blade to the table. There's a tilt scale up here on the front. You just loosen that, and then this knob will let you tilt however you want. And there's an indicator down here on the bottom. I don't know if you can really see that. The red indicator right here, and a scale, so you can dial that into where you want. So obviously what I'm going to do is set mine on 0, tighten that up, take a small square with my blade under tension, and I'm going to check the squareness of the blade to the table. If that's not accurate, then I'll adjust it so it is square and then set my pointer so that it's marked on 0. That's pretty basic stuff. And squaring the blade to the table, and walks you through the procedure on how to square it up, and then maintenance, which is basically just a little bit of lube, and that's it. The rest of the manual is in Spanish or French. That's pretty much it. I'll square up my blade, make sure it's square, and adjust it according to the book. Yeah, maybe next video I'll show using the saw. So give me a thumbs up if you would. Subscribe to my channel, I think right down here, or it might be here. I don't know where it is, but wherever it is, hit the subscribe button. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hope to see you back soon. Take care and God bless you.